Oh, yeah.
All right, what is going on, everyone? Oh, yeah.
Live.
Everybody's jumping on. That's what I like to see. Same time, 10 a.m.-ish. The Gentleman of Crypto, episode 9, folks. I'm your host, King.
And I'm Bitcoin Z.
And we are here to talk Bitcoin. We are streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and iGo Live. So any of those platforms, feel free to jump on, join us, follow us, and ask Bitcoin questions. So interesting. Go ahead.
I was saying live all around the world.
Live all around. Yeah, people from every country too. We got people from Russia and I go live here all the time in Europe, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen Holland. I've seen, hey, how you doing, Ashley? Yeah, I've seen a bunch of different countries. Australia.
So it's a worldwide currency. Everybody's here. Everybody's in the house.
That's part. Bringing people together.
All right. So what's going on today? So it's a lot.
Well, it's the weekend. You know, a lot can happen over the weekend. So when we last spoke, we were talking about the Bitcoin forced push down of bad news, China FUD, what's up, Crypto Q, all of the barriers to Bitcoin actually flourishing further. But over the weekend, like we said, if you listened, if you held, if you didn't,
you held on to your Bitcoin.
It's only been since we started a few weeks. So
right.
If you're panicking at this point, you might want to find something else to get into.
Yeah.
But if you held it, it's broken back past 4,000. May see a small correction, but the channel right now is pointing upwards. And right now, I don't really see much stopping it. If that couldn't kill it down to 2,800, which it still may, you never know. But if it didn't just, eviscerate it, I don't see it going down too much.
Well, and the funny, I won't say the funny thing, but we always say short it. Well, we don't always say it. As our last episode, we got the new saying short it or support it. A lot of people did short Bitcoin, so I will give them props for at least doing and being who they say they are. Mm-hmm. However, when we look at the short, the order book this morning, the people who shorted Bitcoin over the last week and a half are getting destroyed. Once again, for those who don't know what that means, you can go long or you can short things on margins, which means you can borrow money and gamble that Bitcoin is either going to go up or go down. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people gambled money and said Bitcoin was going to continue going down and go down in general. And of course, they initially made some money, but I saw some orders with going times 100.
Yeah, it was 40,000 contracts. 100,000. I was like, woo! Somebody was really adamant about that short.
So that means somebody really thought Bitcoin was going to go so low, they borrowed up to 100 times their money, and they lost it. Many people lost it like that this weekend. So
and we like to call that wrecked.
That is called REKT, wrecked.
If you've seen that word, that's what that means. Wrecked is liquidated.
You don't know what you're doing, and you just get destroyed by the market. So that order book's looking crazy. It's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars that went down the drain because people tried to short it. So
I've seen it a million times. People, if you short it on a dip, trying to predict where the next spike will be, usually it's gonna come up wrong because usually it goes right past that target. So they think it's like a stock. They don't understand that these 40-60% swings and dips. It jumped over $1,000, $1,100 in 2 days.
You don't see it.
Can't even really fathom that.
It jumped 30% over the weekend. Mm-hmm. I see Derek Alvarez on Facebook. He said holding was tough, but listen, hey, holding is tough when you just start going at it. But this is now, since you've been with us, at least since everybody's been with us, you can see its use case. You can see it, it works. This is real. If it goes down, ignore the news. Go do something. Go run. Take a hike.
Taking a hike. Yeah. Take a nap.
Take a nap, and then continue to hold, and the price will rebound. And the reason why the price is doing this, we're not magical geniuses, people, and we don't know everything about Bitcoin and market. What we do know is, like we said before, we know how to add. The technology's there. The developers are there behind it. There's executives. There's VCs coming into the market. Mm-hmm. It's not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
And kind of leading to that, let's go ahead and point out one of those dinosaurs. I said I wasn't going to say anybody's name again, but I had to say his name, Jamie Dimon. The JP Morgan CEO who said Bitcoin was a fraud a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. Him and his company is the exact reason why Bitcoin's here. The amount of fraud and just things on an ethical morality level that they do wrong. So after JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, the dinosaur, said that Bitcoin is a fraud. Over this past weekend, JP Morgan had one of the biggest buys in the cryptocurrency space. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying Jamie Dimon bought Bitcoin or anything like that, but he did say anybody who worked for him, if they were to buy it, he would fire them. Yeah. But somebody's placing that buy order from their company, so I'm just trying to figure out who.
It's some subsidiary across seas is what I'm hearing that made that purchase. They bought the dip, I guess.
Which we said they were going to do. We literally said he was going to buy the dip.
They do this on purpose to buy the dip so that they can get that big increase in profits. But, I mean, some people are saying it may be a fraud, maybe somebody got trolled or whatnot. You know, it's a lot of news gets passed around. It is kind of a bubble. But at the same time, I would not be surprised if that is exactly what they did because, like we said before, any good trader knows if you can get that huge dump on a forced dump on something, you know it's bouncing back because it's too much support. It's too much utility. It's got a long way to go. So
for those who are really swimming in money, I mean, think about it. Bitcoin just jumped up 30% over the weekend. Throughout the past 3 or 4 days, it's probably went up like a little bit higher than that. But if you had a large stake of money just sitting on Bitcoin, I mean, you made a ton of money, especially for the people who went long this past week. So
absolutely. And somebody asked, is Bitcoin mining still profitable? No. It is not profitable.
It hasn't been profitable for years.
Yeah, it hasn't been for a while. I mean, they're in the petahash stage, which is above Tetra. You know, it's past Giga, past Tetra, they're petahash stage. So unless you got $100 million and a couple years to get it established, I would stay away from it. Smaller coins, however, mining is still pretty profitable for some of those. I saw somebody say they had Cloak Coin. I have to check. I know it's a privacy coin. But yeah, as far as mining goes, Bitcoin's not really profitable anymore. So let's see. Quick little come up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so seeing some different comments. We'll get to them in a second. Mm-hmm. Next big thing in the news, the Pirate Bay is pirating your processing power. So for those who don't know what that is, because everybody isn't on the dark web, the Pirate Bay is basically a place you can go to download illegal stuff, or stuff that isn't illegal but is illegal once you download. So whether it's music, movies, whatever, everything else people are into, it's one of those places you can go download and pirate stuff. Well, this story is important to the cryptocurrency space because of what has been pirating and how. Pirate Bay, in the background of people when they log onto its homepage, it's been running your computer's processing power to mine Monero. So Monero is a kind of cryptocurrency. Basically, it's another coin. It's a very popular coin used for privacy. But the Pirate Bay has been testing out their software to mine it without you knowing on your computer. Yeah. So imagine going to Facebook, people. Imagine you logged in your Facebook homepage and you didn't know, but Facebook was using your computing power to mine Bitcoin. That is what this other place is basically doing. And the reason why this is so novel is we talk about the Internet of Things becoming a reality here in the future. Everything being connected, your refrigerator being connected to the internet, your toaster, your microwave, your car stereo. Everything can be used for mining and processing power. I mean, it's happening already, and you're seeing it being tested now by an underground site.
I mean, if you want to compare it to something, it's kind of like if you have your phone on and you have data running in the background. If you have apps with the data running in the background, they're constantly updating. That'll, for one, it uses more of your power, so it's using your computing power, and then secondly, as it's updating constantly or increasing constantly over time, it increases in power. So I mean, basically, they need more people to download more Pirate Bay in order to get that increase in power to keep it going. So yeah, it was kind of one of those things where when people found out, it was like, y'all making money off my computer?
Right, yeah. But that's where we're headed. Yeah. That's where we're heading to Internet of Things, where everyone's computer, if it's sitting idle, if it's open and sitting idle, you can use it to process that computer power, to use it for something different. That's shared economy and sharing energy. So Pirate Bay did come out and say, it was only a 24-hour software test they were doing. Yeah, one in which they didn't tell anybody about. But once again, you talk about security and stuff. If an internet site can use its homepage to do that, and we're just at the beginning stages of Internet of Things, what's going to happen down the road? That's what I'm more curious about.
Monetizing excess capacity, because we have a lot of Golem.
That was Golem. Golem trying to do that.
We have a lot of wasteful power that we use on a daily basis. I mean, if your TV has the power to mine Bitcoin, so to say, and it's off for 8 to 12 hours a day while you're at work, that is literally a $1 billion industry right there with the Internet of Things. Just being able to mine cryptocurrencies with power that you don't use, and with Golem and some of these other projects, they can make it happen. Hey, That's what's
the technology is clearly there now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
So imagine that, like Bitcoin, as they said, imagine that on a global scale, using everyone's computer, cell phone, TV, like I said, refrigerator. It doesn't matter. Using all that extra processing power, all that extra energy on a wide scale basis, and what it could do. I mean, it literally could move things, move technology forward in leaps and bounds. But
and for those of you who don't, kind of get why this is important, some people are like, well, they're mining. All right, what does it matter? If more people or more devices are mining cryptocurrencies, it increases the difficulty, which raises demand. So for those of you who are just investors, if you hear more people are mining, it's raising demand because it's getting harder and harder to get these coins. So
it's taking more processing power, taking more computers, taking more people.
Yeah. So it's basically more investment, more people coming to the space. So yeah, it's actually a good thing for those guys.
All right, so kind of going along with this Bitcoin bounce back, if you call it, hitting this 4K mark.
Like Juvie.
Right, hey, there we go.
Bounce back.
Important thing to note is, China has been playing this game for the last few years where they can just come and go as they want and cause regulations and all that stuff. And it has affected the market. But now China market share in the Bitcoin space has I won't say drastically, but it has been reduced. And literally within a week, Japan is now the #1 place to trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Oh, man.
Again, people, we said don't worry about it. It is going, listen, it's no stopping this train now, all right? We're going full speed.
Yeah, and we've been talking about Japan. If one country won't, another will. One man's trash, another's treasure. Or one country's trash. But, we know how China is. They're just trying to centralize it. But they basically gave up the crown to Japan going into 2018 because they've already got stores accepting it. We've been talking about Japan, how long? A month or two?
Yeah, Japan's the place to go to. Like I said, it's in 220,000 stores, right? So Bitcoin is accepted in over 220,000 stores and businesses in Japan. It's legal. I'm not sure if there's taxes on it at all.
I think regulation-wise, they're looking at it being
it's kind of deregulated right now. They're letting it grow as they should to see what it actually is, what's going to become. So
thank you, Japan.
Yeah, Japan's definitely a safe haven. I've been to Roppongi down there in Tokyo. Great place. I love all of Tokyo, so I don't know. That might be on the to-do list to go live for a few months again. So we'll see. Hey, they're friendly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's see. Speaking of China, of course, we're talking about exchanges. Japan being the biggest, decentralized versus centralized exchange. Right now, I'm starting to see a lot of these quotes, a lot of these words. And one thing I'm gonna start with saying, just with that PR background in the military, and as I always say, three's a trend, people. If you start seeing the same type of word, you've never seen the same type of phrase 3 times straight or 3 times in the same similar articles in the span of a week or 2 weeks, or whatever, it's because they're trying to push a narrative. And it is officially a narrative being pushed, and that narrative is state-backed cryptocurrencies. You're going to start seeing that more and more, state-backed cryptocurrency, bank-backed cryptocurrencies, because they're trying to familiarize this new audience with not only crypto, but it being already owned and operated and regulated by either a government or a bank. So China's trying to do that, but I don't know. What's your thoughts on a centralized and decentralized cryptocurrency? What's the one thing they're just not getting yet?
Yeah, that is the key. The centralized versus decentralized part of it is the big divider. People say, I can send money, I can do this, I can do all this stuff in my government fiat currency. Why do I need Bitcoin? And that is the key, is the decentralization of it. Because when you have centralized exchanges, like we've seen this week, they can be shut down just like that. As soon as they make the announcement, hey, you need to shut down, boom. By the 30th, it was over. That's it. But with decentralized exchanges ran by all of the network of people who are using it, we're starting to see them pop up now. That is not able to be shut down. You can actually look at Bitcoin as the use case for the exchange use case, meaning you can't shut down Bitcoin because there's too many people in the network. Same thing with an exchange. Too big of an exchange worldwide, can't really shut it down. So we're starting to see that for decentralized. I think altcoinexchange.com they got to sign up. Prism with Eric Voorhees, we've talked about before. You're starting to see some of these exchanges that are becoming popular. SafeX, a lot of exchanges, because the China's centralized exchange, takedown or whatnot, is basically an open door. They just said, we're going to centralize our exchange. Everybody else who has a better idea, I mean, go for it, because a lot of people are looking for a way to trade without having to worry, well, if this country doesn't like it, if this country, what's going to happen? So I really feel like, of course, we like decentralized better, but some people actually prefer centralized, believe it or not. So there's a win on that side as well.
I mean, listen, when the Kool-Aid tastes as good as it does sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people want the regulations. They want to be regulated.
No, I've seen that the LinkedIn dinosaur crowd. I'm on LinkedIn too, so I call myself one. But seriously, the LinkedIn dinosaur crowd, I mean, like over 90% of them want regulation. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny to me because it's unfortunate, but a lot of those are the same people who claim to be the VCs and claim to be, you know, the mavericks and the innovators, the forward thinkers. And it's like they're falling into the same. They're scared to take that risk to come out here all alone where there is no regulation, and so they're crying for it over there on LinkedIn. So I don't know. That was interesting. That was disappointing for me to see, but it was interesting. I mean, it shed a light into what LinkedIn is. A bunch of people who work for a living.
Yeah.
Period. They clock in, they go to work. So of course they want to regulate. They don't want to do anything scary. They take any big risk. Right. Yeah. So. I mean, but it did catch me off guard. So, like you said, they're supposed to be the forward thinkers and all that, and I was just like, "Come on, you guys too." Nah. I almost started commenting back on some posts, but I was like, you know what?
Nah. Most people they say that to, they take away creativity, opportunities. Yeah,
centralization is for the elite people. If you're not already a multimillionaire, you should not want centralization. No. Seriously, it just.
We've seen it condense into 6 radio stations and 5 TV stations. You don't want centralization, obviously, because that limits the amount of content that you can access. And whenever it's done in a country like China, I hope people in America aren't looking like, it'd never happen here. Look, these people they're trying. They're trying. I mean, it's a back and forth. Like we said, the war has started. First shot's been shot. Yeah. But a lot of people that want centralization have more power than you. So you're gonna have to realize that. But the amount of people that want decentralization, to me, it far outnumbers it, because you can enter the market without much resistance.
So, and one of the good points we made this weekend about centralization, decentralization, you have to remember, if this does get overly regulated and centralized, it's going to be just how the regular stock market is now. Right now, in the regular stock markets, let's say if you just want to go online and make like an E-Trade or whatever those accounts where you can trade stocks or whatever. First of all, that's kind of relatively new. It hasn't been around forever. We can just go online and trade stocks. So it's relatively new. A, B, if you're going to be trading, and don't quote me on this because I don't know the exact number. I know there is a number. Mm-hmm. I think it's like if you're going to do maybe over 10 trades a month or 20 trades a month on your own, your account must have at least $25,000 in it because you're now considered a day trader by U.S. regulation. Which is absurd. Yeah, that's why. Everybody just doesn't have $25,000 they can just go trade on the market with. So it's kind of the same with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Yeah. It's like right now you can literally have $10 and get on. You know, you can have $10, you can get online, you can buy some, hold, trade, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm guaranteeing it. If this becomes centralized, if it becomes regulated, you can kiss that goodbye. It's gonna be the same thing. Oh, you don't have at least 25, 30,000 account. You don't have at least 5,000 account. Mm-hmm. Can't get into it. You can't do it.
And they've already started kind of with the accredited investors.
They have the accredited investors and the ICO stuff has started it. You know, for them you have to have at least $1 million. Yeah. You have your net worth has to be at least $1 million or whatever. For ICOs, which are brand new, you know, so the fact that they even regulate that, which is saying, hey, you know, you guys aren't smart enough, who's not millionaires, to make money on this. Basically, is what they're saying. Yeah. So we're gonna let only these guys do it. $1 million. I mean, I kind of get it, but $1 million, you know.
Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I'm one of those people that like
Bitcoin, Naka,
to let adults make mistakes. I don't understand. To me, it's an insult to hear from government stuff like, well, if you don't have enough money, you obviously can't make the right decision with the money that you have, so you can't participate in this.
We don't want you to give you the opportunity to make more money.
We don't want to give you the opportunity to make more money because you might lose it. Okay, I'm an adult. I might lose it. I might, whatever. It doesn't matter. So to me, it's more of an insult than anything to tell me I can't invest in something or I can't use something because I'm not old enough or experienced or whatever it is. And that's why decentralized markets, cryptocurrency is popular because, like I said, the barrier to entry is very, very low. Having a phone is literally the step to getting online. I mean, if you have a phone, you can pretty much go from there. And more advanced on top of that. But I mean, the barrier to entry isn't anything like E-Trade.
People, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was made for the people with limited banking and unbanked. So, again, if you're not already wealthy, if you're not a millionaire, you should not be crying for regulation. You shouldn't be crying for centralization. In fact, you should be like us on these front lines fighting this war to push it back. And funny thing, if you go to our Twitter at Kirby Crypto, KRBECRYPTO, just want to highlight that QuickBooks just replied back to us this morning. I shot a shot at QuickBooks, I think this weekend or last week, because I was messing with them. I was being serious, but they canceled one of our accounts with them because they were saying that they don't do anything crypto related, anything Bitcoin related. You can't be a consultant. If it has something to do with crypto in it, they will cancel your account. And I asked them why. They said, well, they bank with Chase and they do everything through Chase. They're a third party ancillary service to them. If Chase doesn't want it, then we can't have it. And of course, we just saw, Chase go buy all the Bitcoin and stuff and cryptocurrency this weekend. So I had to throw him a shot. And I was basically pointing out, like, I thought you literally just told me 3 or 4 weeks ago when you canceled my contract that we can't do it because of crypto and because of Chase said it. Now Chase is buying back. So I just sent QuickBooks another tweet back. Let's see if they say anything.
Yeah. Basically,
thank you.
Yeah, basically they be lying. They lie. I mean, if you work for a bank or if you are around bankers, if you've had enough conversations, which, like I said, I found out about Bitcoin from a banker.
Twitter.
When he was my roommate, some of the stuff he used to tell me, you tell people now and they just don't believe it. And I'm like, these people don't care. They literally walk into work, figure out how to take advantage of people who are too dumb to realize what's going on.
That is what it is.
I don't.
Jamie Dimon just showed. Look,
I don't blame them.
I mean, and that's my thing about J.P. Morgan what was it? Yeah, J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, the dinosaur. He basically showed the world what they've been doing in the banking system, and the government has been allowing it. What they've been doing, that's committing fraud. Yeah. They have been committing fraud. Everything they're doing is morally wrong, ethically wrong. I mean, he literally came up and lied to everyone, said, hey, this is a fraud, this isn't real.
Don't buy it.
Don't buy it. The same day, his team's throwing a conference for Ethereum. Going to the weekend, they buy the dip. On LinkedIn, I think somebody says like 53 to 55 of his traders that actively have Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or fintech in their job description or title. In their name. So it's one of those things where like he's coming out directly lying to people, and the government and the news are aiding this man right now. Like literally lying to people. Help drive the price down because there's so many new people in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin who instantly got spooked because the old great Jamie Dimon who robbed them back in 2008 for some reason wanted to rob them again, and he turned around and did it again. So to me, it was just like it was
just look at the pattern.
Yeah, it was definitely distasteful to see. But the fact that everybody keeps falling for it, like you said, I mean, if the guy's gonna keep doing it, you're gonna keep falling for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, as crypto traders, we kind of laugh at the China news. Like, we like, okay, again, y'all gonna do it again. But in America, you'd be surprised how many times they get you with the same thing. They keep telling you not to do stuff. Don't buy this. And then a week later, you see it jump through the roof because they didn't want you to buy it. They wanted people to sell off, panic, so they could buy it because it's just a game. It's the same game they've been playing for years. So
and just really quickly to talk about the making money and investing part and everything. We talk about people who get wrecked shorting it. There's a ton of people, I know a couple of people personally, who made a lot of money this past week going long. Now, were they on the edge of their seats? Of course. Some of them had like a 2,800, 3,000 call. So it was getting close for some of them. It kind of hit the line. But there were a lot of people who went long. Once again, for those who don't know what that means, going long is borrowing money on margin and gambling that the price of Bitcoin is going to increase. Bitcoin has increased 30%. There are some people who went long that 100 times as well. Like we said, you can short it times 100. Some people went long 100. So that means if I had $1,000, I'm gonna borrow 100,000 more and gamble that Bitcoin's gonna go up. Yeah. There's some people accounts that let them gamble up to that much. It's not always like that. I know if you use Kraken, they go 5 times on Bitcoin, or they have been. I'm not sure where it's at now. Yeah. But even going 5 times, let's say I have $1,000. But I'm going to get an additional 5 times that for a loan, or 10,000 or 100,000, and I'm going to say in the next week or 2 weeks, Bitcoin is going to increase in price, and it goes up 30%. Are you kidding me? You know how much these people just made? So
it's a formula for it too.
It's a formula for it. So we didn't do it. It was kind of on the edge. We thought about it, but it's just one of those things that's worth losing the house because you could get wrecked, as Bitcoins they said.
And right now it's a sideways market. It's not really going up, and it's not really going down. It's just going, oh yeah, it's up. Oh no.
Yeah, zoom out, people.
Oh no, yeah, zoom out. People.
Zoom out.
The
market's not moving.
It's a very sideways market for the last month, I would say. So it's somebody who's that double my money this weekend. Good. I would say if you can buy the dips, sell the tips, that's good. But I will say for those of you who bought that first dip, the first scare at 1900, 2200, something like that, those people are sitting pretty right now because I don't think it's ever getting back that low. So congrats to you. And let's see. Take it back.
All right, so real quick, so we won't forget, definitely want to congratulate last video's free Bitcoin winner. It was Vladimir Metkirtumov. I'm trying to pronounce it the best I can. And what was their comment on the video in general?
Well, the actual premise was, tell us if you would keep Bitcoin if it was kept illegal or cryptocurrency.
Oh, right.
And he said he would rather live in the wild and store his Ethereum Classic, his preferred cryptocurrency, which was good. I mean, to me, it was like, well, hey, some people are willing to go off the grid and say, forget it, I'll live off cryptocurrency and do it. So kudos to him, Vladimir.
So I see, Derek, I see you're asking about Trig, OMG, KMD, Verge. You just asking us everything.
Yeah.
No, what I will say is, you have to be careful with some. So OMG, of course, we already said we believe in. I'm pretty sure we did a video on that, right? Yeah, we believe in OMG. I'm holding OMG as well. Komodo, KMD, they had a big letdown last week. They were pumped pretty hard, or a week or two ago. They were pumped pretty hard. They said they had a big release, something coming up on a date. They were counting down, and it was like they joined with some like payment processing service overseas. And not saying that payment processing services isn't good, but to me, when I looked at the website and I looked at the announcement, it did look kind of I dumped all mine too. I made some money on Komodo. I dumped it too. But it kind of looked rudimentary for them to be talking about doing payments and payment processing. The way they built the website together, it looked like it was, they're literally trying to explain it to a fourth grader. And as an investor, that's not something I enjoy or care about. Like I don't want it to look pretty and have cartoons wherever they had going on. If we're talking about money, I want to know what the numbers are. I want to know you guys know what you're doing. And just the first glance at the website, to me as an investor, I was like, yeah, I'm good on this. So that's my thoughts on Komodo. Not saying it's a bad project. OMG, I'm definitely holding that, like I said. Verge, we talked about that last time, holding on to Verge. So we'll do some best altcoins this week. We'll do at least 2 or 3. We'll get in the lab today and do a few. I know I keep promising you guys an ICO one, but honestly, the reason why we haven't done them is because you're not missing anything. There's, like I said, I talked about last week, there's a couple you can make some quick flips on, but the ones that have already come out this year that are on the exchanges and stuff, I would suggest people buy those before they buy some of the newer ones. Like Civic Key. Civic Key is still low, but we have seen the use case with the Equifax hack. The only reason it's still low is because the powers that be, big companies and all that, they don't realize Civic Key exists, and that is, its use case is for stuff like Equifax and Facebook. Once a lot of very wealthy people, a lot of organizations realize Civic Key and all these other things are around. I think Stratus is actually coming out with something too in their platform. Their identity.
I saw news for that.
Yeah, so once they figure out all this stuff is around, then they'll start utilizing it, and we expect that price to jump. So
big.
It's a great. It's a dude off of Shark Tank South Africa that's running it. I mean, I'll give him a little credit that he's taking point on the project.
Yeah, I don't listen to his calls.
Right,
I do respect him as a businessman.
I won't listen to his calls either. But
and Big Nish, I saw earlier he said, "Do we ever short?" Not often. The risk is the risk is never really as good as the reward. I mean, at what point? I mean, in my opinion, how far do you think Bitcoin can go down? It's never really that much. Whenever I think about shorting it, but as far as the reward for going long, always bigger profit loss from that. So not really.
Yeah,
shorted it a couple times before, but not often.
It's one thing. And then it's like when you talk about shorting, at what percentage of your portfolio would you short, and for and almost for what too? It's like we're here the long term when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. So being short is like that's almost being greedy, and I feel like you should definitely almost have an algorithm already set up that's pretty good. One that's been you put time into creating yourself, and when you put some money in buying, but you should already have like a program set up where it can stop loss it for you a lot quicker than you can recognize and possibly recognize patterns, which is so hard to do right now. Like I said, a tweet can destroy everything. Yeah. A tweet or a news from China.
Or you can double your money.
Speaking of which, here's how we're about to bring one back to life that we never actually killed. We keep saying, to hold on to and don't worry about it. There's been whispers that if China does adopt this state-backed cryptocurrency, whether they do or they don't, the general thought and the whispers are that everybody's going to flood back to Neo in China. What's your take on that?
I tend to agree. It's kind of coming together at the exact same time. They crashed it. The charts are actually looking like it's about to hit a reversal sometime soon. At the same time, I'm hearing that in November, China's actually going to make an announcement that they're allowing Bitcoin exchanges back. Maybe October, but I'm hearing November. So it's kind of like a perfect marriage of boom, going right back up past the $40 and $60 mark. Right now it's at what, 15, 20?
I'm buying some when I get off with you.
Yeah. So so
that's what we're talking about right now.
It's whispers that China's going to actually use Neo as the centralized way exchange. So we have Facebook, they have Baidu, YouTube, they have whatever, they have WeChat. They're just making Neo their version of everything we're doing. And we said that when Neo first came out, we said Neo was going to be Asia's, was like Ethereum platform. However, with all this news, Neo got killed. And then once again, let's be fair, when we're talking about Neo, even though it got killed, it only got killed for the people who bought it, kind of high. Yeah. We saw Neo back in May when it was Ant shares. Actually, we saw it before that, but specifically in May when we planned on buying it, when it was Ant shares, it was 40 cents. So it went from 40 cents in May to like $42, $43 in what, August? Yeah, beginning of August. So 2.5 months, you have like a 15,000%, something crazy, some crazy gain on that. So, I mean, it went down to 20. It's still a huge gain for those who've been in that when it was Ant shares. And even now moving forward, like I said, we see it taking over the whole Asian market. So $20, you might have lost some money right now, or it might seem like you lost, but it's still a long road to go for Neo. Yeah, so we'll see. Bought Neo high, so you eating ramen?
It's all right. Hey, it's all right. It's all right.
You gotta pay tuition, man.
Yeah. Like I said, we see it come back hopefully in the next couple months. But here's the good thing about it. It didn't shoot up that high for nothing. All right? It didn't go from 40 cents to $42 in 2.5 months for nothing. There are, great developers behind it. There is a great team behind the C-suite, all that, the Asia backing for it. So it's still there. It's just quiet right now because, it's all this regulation, but expect them to come running out. All right, let's talk free Bitcoin day. What are we doing for free Bitcoin?
All right, for the free Bitcoin today.
Somebody said pumping and pimping. I had to say that. That's what these governments and banks are doing. They're pumping and pimping right now.
All day, trying to make that little money before it takes off. But for the free Bitcoin today, so you can start pumping and pimping yourself, we actually like to hear what would you like to see in an exchange? Because we talked about centralized and decentralized exchanges. What would you like to see in an exchange? Would you like centralized exchanges where you can actually be regulated and not have to worry? Would you like decentralized where you can actually move your money as you freely want to? What's the advantages? And going forward, what kind of changes would you want to see? Because I know some people have a problem with Poloniex because of this, Bittrex because of that. Whatever your preferred trading platform, what would you like to see in an exchange? And make sure you add your public key. That works. We'll send that free Bitcoin. So
all right. So are we doing it to the best comment?
Best comment.
All right. You heard it for the free Bitcoin. Put down the quotes. Public key. We'll give it to the best comment. I see Derek Alvarez on Facebook. He said, "What's a good price to buy right now for Neo?" Right now is a good price to buy for Neo. I mean, listen.
Think long term.
Yeah, think long term because I'll tell you all what. When I missed that jump when Ant shares turned Neo, when I say we were on top of it, we were definitely on top of it. And some of the things were out of our control is the reason why we missed it. But just in general, when I got back on my laptop and I had a chance to buy it, I remember it was at was it $15 or something? I'm like, oh no, like I said, I saw this go from 40 cents to $15 in a matter of a month and a half. So I'm like, I'm not buying that. All right, I'm gonna wait till it goes back down to 7 or 8. Started creeping back down, got down to 9, and it was really going down. I was like, you know what? I can get it at 6. I'm gonna get it at 5 or 6. And it took off to $40 within the next 3 or 4 weeks and didn't look back. So I'm just saying that because, we can tell you good times, or other people can tell you times and all that. Like you kind of have to do your due diligence for sure.
Yeah,
We're not professionals by any means, but don't miss the bus. And long term, this is something we think that can be huge. So, is there ever a bad time to buy? Is there ever is Apple a bad time to buy Apple right now? Think about that. Is it a bad time to buy Amazon or Google right now? They're high as hell, but is it a bad time?
Is it a bad time to buy Apple in 2003?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
anytime.
All these things are new. So yeah. All right, we got anything else for today?
That's it for me. Yeah.
We're reading people. Okay. But anyway, thanks for joining us. As always, subscribe for that free Bitcoin in the comment section. You can follow us at Kirby Crypto, KRBECRYPTO, on YouTube, of course, Facebook, Twitter, and I said we was going to do a picture this week, and we have one picture for Instagram. It'll be our fourth picture.
One picture. You
can follow us at Kirby Crypto on those. Coming to you every day at 10 a.m., the Gentleman of Crypto.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Appreciate it.